Hello, everybody. Welcome to YouTube Live at E3. I'm Jeff Keighley, and this is our second day of our marathon live coverage on YouTube, and we are doing it all in 4K. The only place you're going to see E3 in 4K Ultra HD is right here on YouTube, and we've got a full day, tons of game developers coming by to show their brand new titles. Bethesda will be here momentarily to give us the updates on their press conference that happened late last night here in Los Angeles. And of course, it's all leading up to tonight, 6 p.m., the PlayStation E3 media showcase. Tons of amazing PlayStation games are going to be debuted. We're really excited about that. That'll happen at 6 o'clock. And then before then, in just an hour's time, we'll head to the Ubisoft E3 press conference with brand new looks at Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 5, South Park, The Fractured But Whole, and many other titles from Ubi. And of course, all the developers from these press conferences will be coming by our stage immediately after for their first interviews. So if you guys want more information on these games outside of the press conferences, you can tune into our show. We'll be asking them questions and getting answers for you guys. Same thing with PlayStation. After the press conference tonight, all the developers will be coming first to the YouTube stage, and believe me, there's a lot of big stuff happening later tonight at the PlayStation press conference. But all day, we're looking on social media. We want to hear what you guys have to say. We've got Melanie Mack over in our social media area using the hashtag YouTubeE3. So Melanie Mack is going to give us updates throughout the day on what people have to say about social media. So use the hashtag YouTubeE3, and we will be able to tell you guys a lot more about that. Melanie Mack, what's happening? Day 2.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here for day 2. You didn't fire me yet, so we're good. It's a great
Victory.
Thing. Yeah. So I'm excited. We got Ubisoft. We've got Sony today. These two are going to be epic for me. I'm a big fan of Ubisoft games. I'm really hoping for a new Splinter Cell game, but Michael Ironside needs to be back, though. You know, he really makes Sam Fisher who he is, and maybe some multiplayer, you know, Spies versus Mercs. I miss that, man. And then Ubisoft, they've got so many great games, and hoping for an announcement for Beyond Good and Evil as well, which I just said. But anyway, PlayStation, good stuff. I'm really excited. I'm going to be checking out what you guys have to say on social media, so make sure you tweet at me, use hashtag YouTubeE3 so I can keep up with your predictions and all the great stuff. But right now, we're going to go back to Jeff.
Yeah, those are some good choices, Melanie Mack. I'd love to see Splinter Cell announced, and Beyond Good and Evil 2. Yeah, that's a game. I remember I've been doing E3 Live for many years. I want to say it was like 8 years ago when they put that teaser out there. And Michel Ancel, he's actually working on another game for PlayStation called Wild, which we haven't heard about in, I think, a couple of years now. So I'm curious what's happening there. Again, it'll be a really interesting day. There are lots more announcements, and of course, this is day 2. Yesterday, if you happen to miss our live stream, you can head back to the youtube.com/E3 page, because we have the Xbox press conference there with the reveal of the Xbox One X. We had the first unboxing of that here on our set. So anything Xbox related we had yesterday. Today is all about brand new games, and we're going to get right into some coverage of some of the games that got announced yesterday or shown for the first time yesterday, and then we'll get to Ubisoft at the top of the hour. We'll give you complete, uninterrupted coverage of these press conferences in 4K Ultra HD. But right now, it's time to kick off our Day 2 coverage with another exclusive. This is the world premiere extended gameplay trailer for a game that got announced last night at Bethesda Land. It is The Evil Within 2. Check this out.
Hello? Sebastian, are you there?
Lily?
All right, Mikami is back, and joining me now, man you saw on stage yesterday, if you watched the Bethesda press conference, the only person on stage, the one and only, Pete Hines, VP of Marketing, Global VP of Marketing and PR for Bethesda. Good to see you, Pete. So big press conference yesterday. I got to say, I loved how it was tight, compact. You guys got your news in like 36 minutes, I think. Tell us about your approach to E3 this year. You know, it wasn't a Todd Howard game year, you guys, but you did have two big new titles that you announced, and as you said on stage, all stuff coming out this year.
Yeah, well, that was a part of it, which is we really wanted to focus on stuff that was coming out this year. Number one, you and I have worked together long enough. You know, kind of my belief, which is I really want to announce stuff when you can. Like, we could talk about anything. We could talk about stuff that's coming out in 3 years, but I'd really rather be able to show it and show what it's really doing. And so I think for this year, we wanted to focus on 2017. We wanted to keep it going quickly and move fast through everything and not spend a lot of time. And to be honest, we have a lot of stuff in our booth. You know, you can play Wolfenstein, you can play the VR stuff. So we didn't want to spend a lot of time like doing sort of protracted gameplay. Like, just come by our booth and check it out for yourself. And we're going to be doing a lot more this week to show folks like, yeah, I want to see more gameplay. I want to see more of the Evil Within or Wolfenstein. We've got a lot more to talk about this week beyond what we showed on Sunday.
And another thing that you talked about yesterday, I don't want to forget, is Dishonored 2. You guys are putting out a new expansion to that, which is going to be a standalone experience, right?
Standalone DLC.
Hunting the Outsider, it's coming out October? When is that?
September.
September. The other games are October.
Yes.
Exactly. Tell us a bit about that. So the team at Arcane is building an entirely kind of new self-contained experience.
Yeah, so if you know the Dishonored world, in Dishonored 2, you knew her as Megan Foster, who then, spoiler alert, later revealed herself to be Billy Lurk, who is Dowd's right-hand man. Dowd, you might remember from some of the DLC. Dowd's actually the one who kills the Empress in the original Dishonored. And this is a story about Billy working with Dowd to go back and kill the Outsider. Cool. They've decided they've had enough of this guy who is, you know, responsible for the cool supernatural powers you have, but is also responsible for a lot of the chaos. And they decided the only way to bring some normalcy to this world in Dishonored is to take out the Outsider. And that's what Billy heads off to do, is a series of missions to get to the Outsider and then to take him out.
And the scope or scale of this, I know it's not DLC, it's sort of the standalone adventure. It's not a full-scale game.
But it's still, I mean, it's a full-scale game. Like, it's going to have a significant amount of content. Okay. You know, it's I'm not sure what the full playthrough, but, you know, 8 hours, 10 hours. I mean, it's a big, meaty, full piece of the Dishonored world where you get to explore new places and play as a new character in Billy and you know, get more of that Dishonored experience that folks love, which is kind of playing the way you want, combining powers and combat to kind of move through situations. Are you going to be violent? Are you going to be non-violent? All of that stuff that folks have come to know Dishonored for, put in a standalone DLC.
And slightly lower price than a full game? Or?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. $30 for.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's great. So that comes out in September, and then October you have a big month with two titles coming out. On Friday the 13th, we get the.
You know me. I like cool, memorable dates, Jeff. And survival horror game on Friday the 13th. That just seemed like a win.
The developer has to hit it, which is a challenge, I'm sure, for Mikami. But it looks pretty trippy and out there. The trailer you had yesterday. You guys do always such great reveal assets for these games. And tell us a bit about that. We got a hint of a little bit more extended gameplay there. It seems like this is kind of a completely new story, right?
It is. It builds off of the last one, but it's the story of Sebastian is sort of completely fallen apart after the events of the first game. He comes to find out that the daughter that he thought was dead is actually alive, has been sort of captured by Mobius and is being used by them to sort of power this virtual world that they've created. And so he decides to go back in to try and save the daughter that he thought was lost. And so it's definitely a more powerful story in terms of this connection of trying to find the daughter that you thought was gone and save her. It's certainly a survival horror game, so it's definitely got lots of scary moments and tense and that kind of constant struggle for resources and surviving. But it's also introducing a lot more of an open aspect to the game. You know, I think one of the things we heard from fans was Evil Within, they had a lot of fun, but it was fairly linear. There wasn't a whole lot of sort of branching off, and I think this time they're trying to embrace that a little bit more and have areas where players can kind of go and maybe go do stuff that isn't important to evolving the story, but is important for, like, I need some more resources, I need to build some more ammunition, or I need some other stuff to kind of feel ready to go deal with whatever comes next. And so you have a lot more choice now in kind of branching off and doing side missions and other stuff that wasn't really a part of the first game.
Very cool. Well, it looked great. Another thing that we should talk about is Skyrim for the Switch. Very fun trailer to see. So full amiibo support in that game?
Well, for Link. I mean, not like every amiibo.
Okay, I was gonna say.
No, we didn't
you
go
know
nuts.
Splatoon's gonna pop in.
No,
or
but
something.
you know, we talked to the folks.
only Link.
Only Link.
Okay.
But talked to the Breath of the Wild folks, and they were big Skyrim fans themselves and loved the idea. We really wanted to kind of do an integration with them, their open world thing, our open world thing. So it was a lot of fun. They were great with providing us all kinds of assets to make it feel like a cool, unique thing for Skyrim.
Yeah.
You want to run around as Link and go slay dragons. Like, come on.
That was fun. And when, do we know when that's coming out yet?
We haven't announced the date yet, but later this year.
Later this year. All right, Skyrim finally coming to the Switch. I also want to talk to you a little bit about Xbox One X. You were here, I think, right after the Project Scorpio reveal last year, and we saw Todd in that video last year talking about that. So I assume, you know, Evil Within and Wolfenstein are coming out October, but are they going to be enhanced for Xbox One X?
We're looking for all of our studios to add that level of support. BGS tweeted out last night that both Fallout and Skyrim are they're working right now on implementing support for X.
Yeah.
Are we going to call it X? What do we call it? XX?
Xbox.
But we will be providing updates for both of those titles to support it, and all of
And that's
our
sort of higher resolution, 4K, better frame rate, that type of stuff?
all of that stuff, yeah. Taking advantage of the hardware. And Microsoft's been great. Phil Spencer came out last year with his team to kind of walk us through what they were doing and do sort of a tech dump so all of our guys could start to get up to speed on what it was capable of doing and kind of how we wanted to embrace it and incorporate it in our games. So it's been good, and we're really looking forward to, you know, doing more with our games to support the hardware and what it can do.
You mentioned BGS. Last year, Todd was here and kind of broke a little bit of news that the multiple projects sort of in the works there. You know, another Elder Scrolls down the road, and you probably answer questions every day on Twitter about
down
this.
the road. Down the road.
A few games down the road.
To reiterate, they have at least 2 major titles that they are working on before we're going to get to Elder Scrolls 6. Jeff, we gave you that nugget, and somehow everybody, including your friend of mine, Michael Pachter, like somehow everybody missed that. I tried to manage expectations for folks. You know the kind of games they make; they take a while, but they have two major things that they're working on, in addition to a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Skyrim Switch and all of these other things. Yeah, they are hard at work. They have a lot going on, and you know, like I said at the outset, looking forward to talking about that stuff when we get to a point where we can really show what they're working on and not just speak to it, but like, here it is. Here's exactly kind of what it's going to be, and looking forward to those. And then we'll get to TED 6.
You only answer a question on Twitter about that a couple
like
times
every
a day.
day, yeah.
But obviously, yeah, you said, and it feels like you said. I think some people interpret that like, oh, they're working on all 3 at once, but it's sort of like you have to.
No,
slots,
we're pretty
right?
clear. Like TED 6 is not in dev while we work on. I mean, we're not talking about small things. We're not talking about like a Fallout Shelter kind of project, like big multi-platform releases like you expect from BG.
Well, and that's the thing is, I'm sure you see all the rumors where people are like, oh, Todd's got his whole team planned out through 2032 or something. I saw.
Yeah, for sure. And look, there was a lot of last night. You know, there were the folks on various message boards that were posing as Bethesda folks. I have inside info and like found some trademark that we found and started spouting off. We're going to reveal this and we're going to reveal that. And you know, I'm not in a position of being able to just jump in and pour water on every rumor. I'm sorry that folks got sort of swept up in that and believed that it was true, but they clearly didn't work at Bethesda. They didn't know what they were talking about. We weren't ready to talk about what BGS is up to. Again, we wanted to focus on what we were doing and coming out with this year.
No, that's, you know, I always love, like, especially their last 2 games where, you know, Skyrim VGAs or when you did Fallout at E3. I mean, it was, you know, Todd when he announces things, it's sort of like, here's the date. Like, it's like, you know, they'd like to be very contained.
More of an immediacy. Yeah, I mean, even in the case of Wolfenstein,
Yeah.
You know, we could have talked about that last year at E3 if
Sort
we
of teased it a
wanted
little
to.
bit, right?
Did you like that? That was
Yeah.
actually my idea. We wanted a kind of a DOS thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
hey, we should do like a DRIR thing and
Yes.
stick the game name in there and just see if anybody notices. And of course, everybody did.
Oh, believe me.
But you know, we didn't want to go anywhere beyond that because we wanted to wait until we could do something like last night, where you can
Yeah.
really see sort of the story and
Were
character.
there any teases last night that we should be looking for?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But
Somewhere
I'm
in the
so
Bethesda
tired that
land
there
map,
might have
you
been, and
never
I
know.
forgot. You're right. No, but we wanted to stay focused on this year and sort of be like, we're telling you about it, and you can also come play it in a booth, and you can see a lot more about what it is, and not just like, well, we'll wait for another year before we can tell you more.
For sure, and you know, now you guys are at a point where every game you ship feels like, you know, critically you ship some of the best games out there, and both those titles
We try.
for
We
the
do try.
holidays look like they're going to be big. And I know Jens is here to talk a little bit about Wolf. So speaking of that, thanks Pete for stopping by. Right now we're going to get a look at a world premiere trailer looking at the collector's edition for Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Check it out.
Yes, the most wunderbar soldier who ever lived now brings exciting battle action to the American territories. With an all-new collection of authentic regime forces and elite Hans action sets. And introducing, straight from the headlines, the vile BJ Terror Billy Blazkowicz. A cold-blooded killer that must be stopped. Terror Billy is always sneaking, spying, or smashing. But with the help of Elite Hans and General Engel, you can bring this terrorist to justice. Why, you'll be a hero of the Empire in no time. Add Terror Billy to your collection today and bring glory to the home front with Elite Hans, the Empire's posable protector.
Monsters did this.
Not monsters. Men.
Such a trippy game. Wolfenstein 2. Joining me now is the creative director for Machine Games, Jens Matthias. Jens, it's so great to have you here, and I got to say, last night the reveal, I think people are still talking about it because it is just so messed up. I mean, that final shot with the cell animation in the world, it's like I don't even know where to begin with this, but it definitely is pretty out there. And you know, you guys had such fun, I think, doing the first game, you know, coming back from the new Colossus. I'm sure there were a ton of ideas, but coming to America, right?
Yep. It's the game is a direct sequel from the first one, so there's like a true continuation from where the first one left off. This one picks up.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about, I mean, some of the things we saw. It feels like this is a very, you know, the franchise has always been a little twisted, but it feels like you guys are really tripping on this one with some of the ideas in here.
Yeah, it's
tell us,
been wonderful.
BJ,
I
what
mean,
can we expect?
it's amazing to have this amount of creative freedom. I don't think we would have had that with any other publisher.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they trust us with it, and I think it really feels like this is the best thing we've ever done in terms of gameplay and story and the whole package.
So can we maybe pull apart some of the pieces of what we
Sure.
saw in the trailer? So maybe let's start at the end and work back. So yeah, at the end, what was that when we saw the kind of cell? Is that a hallucination or?
No, yeah, this character called Wyatt, because we have these two timelines. So depending on the timeline you pick, either a character called Wyatt or another one called Fergus is alive. So in this timeline, Wyatt is, shall we say, experimenting with psychedelics.
Yes.
And so he's sort of on this constant stream of microdosing.
Yeah.
So it's not like some people were complaining that you know, it doesn't kick in that fast.
Yes.
But he's microdosing the whole time. So
So is that something like there's one level in the game or multiple times throughout the game? Those types of kind of crazy hallucinations?
well, it's all about his character arc,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
his arc throughout the story is about he has this journey of self-discovery. And then, yeah, I mean, it's we didn't really write that we call him Little Buddy,
Yeah.
the little cartoon
Buddy.
chameleon. Yeah. So it's not something we wrote into the script. It's more something we discovered along the way as the scene came together and we saw what the actor did with it. I just started thinking, it would be really cool to visualize what he's actually seeing.
Yeah.
Because he used to be was just grabbing air, you know. And then we got in touch with this animation house called Rubber House out of Australia, and they put this together for us. It's just amazing. It looks super cool.
Yeah. I can't wait to see how that fits into. That'll be in gameplay too. Like you'll be in sort of first person and things will happen.
Not really, because
Okay.
you are not Wyatt, right?
Right.
So all of the things that he goes through is from his perspective.
Actually,
which
so
is
it'll be
not
cutscene
yours.
more kind of.
Yeah.
Very fun. Well, tell us about the gameplay. Really excited to sort of see how you guys are pushing the action. And one of the great things about this franchise is that you're known for really, awesome narrative.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a first-person action game that pushes in different dimensions. So how are you sort of changing what the game experience is going to be this time?
Well,
Ironside style.
on the one side, we're of course trying to, as much as we can, stay true to what Wolfenstein is, which is just real hardcore first-person combat, right? But within that box, we are doing a lot to evolve it. So we are on a new engine now, which is based on id Tech 6.
Yeah.
But it's sort of small iterations beyond the Doom engine changes that we've done for our game. But we've done a huge push on the first-person sort of immersive model or whatever. So you have a full first-person model now. It's not just floating hands. Like if you look down, you see your legs and how they interact with the world and all that. You can dual wield the weapons independently. It's all of these things that, and so we worked really, really hard. Like we have had a dedicated team only working on visceral first-person combat mechanics for 3 years now. So it's gonna be. It feels amazing to play it. That's what's cool about it.
I can't wait to see where you guys take it. I think people are always wondering about this. Probably know the answer, but what are you thinking about online at all for what this will be? Multiplayer at all?
No.
Not going to happen again. Okay.
No, same as last time. Like we know that we always produce the best result if the whole team is dedicated to one purpose. So it's pure single player.
Pure story, but that's the thing is, I think you guys put such a focus on the story, and it's actually refreshing. I think for me and a lot of people that love narrative story games that we can go in and just have this great single player experience. Because you're right, a lot of games and other publishers, I think, sometimes pressure the developers and they're like, well, we've got to have another studio do a multiplayer mode, so we can check that box.
No, I mean that's to
Bethesda's
Bethesda's credit that they let us do whatever we want to do, and I think that's paying off hugely in terms of what the game is, what the game feels like,
Yeah. So coming out this October, so you guys have a couple more months here of development. What are we seeing at E3? I know you guys showed a little bit at the press conference. People get to play it. Pete said at the booth.
Yep. So the thing we're gonna have the hands on is sort of the first play. There's like a prologue before that, but once you get into proper gameplay. It's that first level. So, and it's all wheelchair combat.
Okay, wheelchair combat.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Surprisingly awesomely.
Really?
Yeah. Like
So you're just using like the sticks or the arrow keys to like sort of like you're just mobile on a wheelchair?
Yeah.
With your gun?
Yeah, it's super intuitive. It's the same controls as you move around normally.
Yeah.
But it was one of these things, like, because BJ obviously at the beginning of the game is horribly injured. So he can't even stand upright. And so he's confined to this wheelchair, and has to fend off invading Nazis. So we thought, wouldn't it be super cool to have like a playable wheelchair level?
Right.
And
why not?
yeah, and everyone was, that's super cool, but can we actually make it fun? And so that was a big question, but it just turned out great. So we're really happy with how that came out. We try to do that throughout the game, right? Mix it up and find interesting ways of playing.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why you can focus so much on the density of the experience, because you're focused on the single player and the story. I think you're probably the only game with wheelchair combat at E3. I'm not
Fingers
sure,
crossed.
but I'll let you know. All right, well, I can't wait to play it over at the booth. It's great to see you, and we'll see you at E3 Coliseum tomorrow you guys are going to be sharing more about the game, which we
Awesome.
can't wait to hear, and you guys can watch that as well on YouTube. All right, well, we're used to seeing some pretty big explosions here at E3, but this summer, Charlize Theron is going atomic. The Oscar winner explodes into Atomic Blonde, an action-packed thriller that follows a lethal assassin through a city simmering with revolution and traitors. James McAvoy, Sofia Boutella, and John Goodman also star. Check out this clip from Atomic Blonde, which is in theaters July 28th.
Beeiligt, die sind im 3. Stock. Schnell die Treppe hoch.
All right, we're back, and you saw this guy on stage yesterday at the Xbox press conference, and now we get to meet the maker behind Middle-earth: Shadow of War, the VP of Creative at Monolith Productions, Michael DePlater. And stay tuned after for a special announcement about Shadow of War and Totino's Pizza Rolls. Michael, great to have you with us today.
Excellent to be here. Thank
we
you.
are so excited about Shadow of War. Coming out now this October, right?
October 10th.
October 10th. I
Yep.
saw the big banner out front of E3
Yeah,
when I was
super
driving
exciting.
into E3. So I know this is a passion project for you. I think Shadow of Mordor a couple years ago, back in 2014, everyone just got so excited about what you guys built. And now you're back a few years later with a brand new experience. And let's just jump right into the gameplay and tell us what you're showing, because it's such an epic world. I know I got to play it a few weeks ago when the Forts, and it's just like this is only a small little piece of what
Yep.
this is going to be. So tell us, what are we seeing here?
Yeah, I think, and that's what's sort of so exciting about us for E3 is that every time we get to show the game, we're going to be showing something new or something unseen, and we never know what's going to happen in any particular demo. So here, Evan's mounted on this Caragor. We're moving around through this is the open world in Nirn. So this is the south of Mordor.
Yeah.
And we've got this whole kind of living world that we really want to show off in E3, and the influence of the Nemesis system that actually spreads right throughout the world. So not just through the fortresses that we have, but also out to the wilderness, to the outposts, to the side missions, to
Everyone
the different
remembers.
orcs you'll hunt and recruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually you'll build and grow those stories with each of those different guys. Yeah, the thing that's really, one of the things we've doubled down on is all of the mounted combat and gameplay.
Yeah.
So the Caragors, these are fun because they can climb pretty much anything as well. So even when you're mounted, you're just as mobile.
That's amazing, though. I mean, the animation and physics to get that all to work like that across all these different environments.
Yeah, and combat from them, and even stealth, because they're big cats. They can crouch down, they can hunt, they can stalk.
Yeah.
So you've got these guys, you've got riding the dragons around, you've got these massive, giant Graugs that we have as well. So I've just put so many systems and so much gameplay into all of the sandbox and the open world in here. But I think what we're also going to show here today, after we show a bit more of the open world, is actually a beginning of a fort assault, and we'll.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're pretty fun as well.
Well, I got to say, the world looks incredible. So in terms of scale compared to the first game, what can you tell us about how big
It's hard to quantify because we've got more regions.
Yep.
You know, many more regions. Every one of those regions is bigger.
Yep.
And then every one of those regions is much more dense with gameplay, with content, with verticality, with caves, with secrets, with life. And then every one of those regions changes with what the living world is depending on. I know.
Epic scale of it. It's nuts.
Everything. And then it changes depending on which tribe's in control. So it's kind of, it's bigger than Shadow of Mordor in multiple dimensions. So it's, you know, it's at least 4 to 5 times to play through this experience that we had in the first game. It's everything we're just going for epic, with the story, with the characters, with riding around on drakes, the whole thing. That's our keyword. And that was what was so great for us after people were so, you know, generous and excited about Shadow of Mordor, that it just got us, it enabled us to double down and basically check off all of our wish lists of all the things we wished we'd
exactly
to do.
It feel like, you know, there was so much people liked, obviously, the Nemesis system in the world, and now, as you said, knowing that people like that, to build on that, and still, you know, even though we're showing, you know, epic sort of scale, you know, moments here, it's like that core combat and that, you know, the combat loop. I remember, you know, sort of post-Batman, it's like you guys came in and sort of, you know, I think a lot inspired by that, just sort of really built this, you know, really fluid combat system.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see when we see the Fortress. Yeah.
I mean, all the teams did such a great job, you know, the animation team, and the fun thing with that sort of style of combat is we were able to make it so visceral, you know, we're able to have heads flying in the last game, now we can do limbs flying, we can have bodies torn in half.
All the fun stuff.
But as well as that, we've now got this entire additional layer of player progression and skills. So the skill tree is expanded enormously, and you can now really customize your loadout and your skills depending on what your play style is, and then combining that with a pretty epic gear system. So now if you're hunting down and defeating different enemies, different nemesis, they're going to drop, you know, rare, epic, legendary gear, and then you can craft that to really customize the character and to visually change how the hero looks as well.
Yeah, well, we should jump into the Fortress here and see some real live gameplay here and talk about what we're going to see here when we go live. Now, one thing I will ask you about is Xbox One X. You were on stage yesterday. So this game is coming out about a month in advance of One X. So what does that mean? You'll sort of be able to play it, obviously, on your, you know, Xbox One S, and then when it comes out for X, it'll be further enhanced?
Yeah, exactly. So the same, you know, all of the platforms of Xbox, Xbox One S, and then of course the X and the PlayStation and the PC. But just being able to really, take advantage of the power of the X in terms of the scale of the game, in terms, of course, of just how amazing it can look in 4K. So
will that be, do you think it's going to drive like a better frame rate, or, you know, it's going to be obviously 4K resolution? What can we expect? How much different will it be than the 1S version?
One of the areas where we're really lucky, you know, and the team's just doing such a killer job, is we have our own tech and we have our own engine, which is the Firebird engine. And those guys have just knocked it out of the park in terms of optimizing every element of that, from the frame rate through to the resolution, through to the detail. So we're just taking advantage of it in every dimension just to make sure that the whole thing is really
So we will get a better frame rate on 1X, you think?
We are. Well, we're locked in, you know, we're really committed to this sort of locked in at 30, so it's just always consistent, it's always smooth, even if you're going into the most ridiculous, massive, epic Helm's Deep scale battle and you've got multiple dragons, everything's on fire, there's hundreds of guys on screen, it's just insane. You know,
but then you ratchet up the little details, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But then with all of that insanity going on, which are these really big, intense combat moments, you don't lose any of the responsiveness or the flow or just that great feel that, you know, makes our combat so good.
Very cool. All right, well, let's look at some of the combat here. For the blue.
He's definitely blue.
Yep. And we're going to see some real combat here, which is amazing with these forces. And, you know, I got to play this a few weeks ago. I mean, you know, great sense of strategy, obviously, as you sort of go through, get to make choices on how you're going to engage in the battle here.
Yeah, and also, the army that you bring in with you.
Enjoy this, boys!
So the personalities of these guys, the stories that you build up with them, and the scale of it, it's just immense. Because that's the thing. Like basically the team, you know, we said, so we had this game, Shadow of Mordor, and we just wanted to make it bigger in every dimension. So now we've got hundreds of guys. We've got more detail on all of those guys. We've got massively more variation with the Nemesis system on them all. Yeah. We've got the fire and the destruction system. We've got these massive forts. So it's just every single dimension. It got massively expanded. So here, Evan's actually, what he's done is he's used Shadow Strike. So he's gone up and he's taken control of one of these siege beasts. And now he can actually take that, which was a big threat to us, and turn that back on the enemies. And he can now start raining destruction down on this first victory point to help us capture it. A little bit of friendly fire on our own guys, but they'll probably forgive us for that or not. And then make sure he destroys that so we don't leave it back for the enemy to take over again. And then coming down to the first victory point here.
Capture it.
Stay away from my fortress, or I'll crush you like the man dung you are.
Okay, so he's not too happy about us coming here to take that over, but Evan's in a hurry. We've got our 10 minutes. And then also, even beyond all of these sort of millions of possibilities of their different strengths and weaknesses, their personalities affect the combat as well. Yeah. So if they get enraged, they go into a frenzy, which makes them even more dangerous in combat. And then we can see he's cursed as well. So these cursed attacks actually take away some of our power.
Look at that. I love the fluidity of that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like, you know.
Okay, he's gonna, that's actually one of the tribal weapons this guy's gonna use. Oh, got away. Okay, that was close. Let's see how he goes. But something we've really, the levels that you see of the enemies, all the classes we've added to the enemies, all of the tribes, so just no two of these guys are gonna be the same. Now that wall's burst through as well from our artillery. And then every fight that you have is gonna create a new story, and either having these guys join your army and become part of your story that way, or potentially fighting to the death or becoming an enemy. So our guys occupied here, bang, and we can take the
victory point captured
and grab some epic loot there as well. So depending on how powerful the enemies are, what your story is with them, we then have the whole gear system. And then the fun thing, in order to make the gear actually even build more stories, you get a little challenge on the gear, and if you unlock that, that unlocks additional traits on the weapon, and also little quotes that help you remember that personal story with that orc.
Oh, I mean, as the scale of the game increases, you said Nemesis system, how it's going to sort of scale over the game, and that's what makes it so much more memorable. You know, characters that are going to remember in more ways.
Yeah, it's more epic and more personal, which I think is definitely fits with Middle-earth and with that kind of epic fantasy as well. Okay, see if we. I don't know how far we're going to be able to get through this fort assault in the time we have.
But
he's charging through.
I have faith that he's going to get through all the way through it, through all these victory points, as long as he doesn't die and have to reset back to the beginning of the assault, which I had to do once when I was playing a few weeks ago.
Oh. Okay, so Celebrimbor actually took out Olrock the Biter.
Yeah.
Some more loot.
There's just so much going on, but it's, you know, people know from this game, it's like, you know, it's so fluid and you never feel out of control, you never feel stuck, and it's like what I love is that you can sort of get in and out of all this combat.
Drag and landed on us, a little bit chaotic, but okay, we'll get it.
It's early in the day.
Yeah.
As you get through more demos today, he'll be great.
But okay, one of our guys is even bleeding out here, but that thing of having this massive scale and all of this chaos, but the combination, I think, of the UI team, the animation team, the AI team, of actually enabling you to control this chaos, to have the skills in combat and to have the tools at your disposal, and your allies to help you out as well.
It looks absolutely incredible. I mean, the scale of what you guys are putting together is just incredible, Michael. So thank you for
so much.
Coming by to show it to us. Of course, coming out, as you said, October 10th. Across all the platforms. We can't wait to check it.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yes, Shadow of War. Thank you, Michael. All right, and now for a special announcement from Totino's. Totino's Pizza Rolls will be launching in-game content, download codes on select bags that can be redeemed for items in Shadow of War. Very cool partnership. You can check out the promotion on specially marked packages of Totino's Pizza Rolls and Totino's Pizza Party Rolls, or Party Pizza, in stores October and November of this year. You must be 18 years or older to redeem. Void where prohibited. Open to residents of the 50 United States and DC only. And the only place to get the in-game content before Shadow of War releases is with Totino's Pizza Rolls, the exclusive pre-launch partner. Codes drop on specially marked Totino's packages in September. Get yourself hyped by heading to gaming.totinos.com. Pizza Rolls, Shadow of War. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. All right, take care. Now we're going to head on over to home base to check in with the president of Gearbox Software, Randy Pitchford. Randy,
how's it
always dressed so nice.
Thanks, man.
We don't know where you get your shirts, but they're all.
You know my wife dresses me.
Christy's back in the. They got it all lined up for the week, right?
That's right. Check it out. This one's got Space Invaders on it.
Oh wow!
Isn't that wild? Like I don't know where.
I don't know if that'll show up on camera, but you're right. It's like yeah.
There's Space Invaders on the shirt.
Well, you've been doing so much for the video game industry for so many years, and we want.
So have you.
Thank you. But it's we're excited to have you here. We're psyched that you're going to be on the panel tomorrow with Neil deGrasse.
Oh, that's going to be a
Chris
blast.
Hardwick, James Gunn, talking about how you build these worlds, and I love that you're here just to kind of chat because it's not like there's some massive new Gearbox reveal.
Well, I got lots of things I can sell you, but like this is E3 and it's awesome, and there's so much cool stuff going on. So it's fun to kind of take high level too and just look at the industry.
Exactly. We all love games, and you guys certainly are working on a lot of great stuff. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about Borderlands because we saw, I think it was at GDC, you guys teased a little bit of the game engine, how you're working with Unreal Engine.
Yeah, that was a tech talk about some of the technology we're working on.
So what, early obviously, but what can you tell us? You guys have been pretty open, I think, at panels and stuff. We're trying to recruit people to work on Borderlands. It's not a secret that that's your next big project, right?
I can tell you, obviously, we're very, very excited about what we're working on. I know there's a lot of people that love the Borderlands franchise and they're really looking forward to more from us.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. Like, there will be a big official announcement.
Yeah.
And it's really important, I think. And one of the things I'm actually really happy about with Take-Two and 2K as a partner is we've really come into alignment that we should really have everything that we want to talk about ready to go and know exactly where we are and have the evidence to prove it all before we showboat and make some big announcements. I think it's really important that expectations are set correctly. We have some incredible ambitions with the game, and so when that big announcement happens, we'll have everything all lined up and we know exactly what we'll be delivering.
All right. Not this E3 though, right?
No, unfortunately. I know there's so many people
holding out for that PlayStation announcement tonight or something. Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people looking forward to us talking about it, and people do know we're working on it, and we are. In fact, most of the developers at Gearbox, this is what we're doing. So it is all I think about. It's all I think about.
It's a big property. Let's talk about Borderlands kind of as a property.
Yeah.
Where is there's always been tales from the Borderlands.
Yes.
Other things that have happened. Are you guys thinking now about sort of where Borderlands can go into different mediums?
Well, I'll tell you, one thing that's been really interesting is as Borderlands has been successful, a lot of folks wanted to get involved with us, and that's how projects like Tales from the Borderlands happened. I think one of the things I'm most excited about, but there's tons of stuff, and it would take like the rest of the afternoon to go over every little thing going on, but I think the biggest thing that we're most excited about is the movie in development. Cool. Lionsgate is the studio, and Arad Productions is the production company, and I don't know if you know Arad Productions, but Avi Arad ran Marvel Studios. They created the Spider-Man film, X-Men, Iron Man, and kind of figured out how to finally make really good, entertaining comic book movies. And so these are the guys that are behind figuring out how to finally make a good video game movie. And they think Borderlands might help them do it. So it's been a fun process, and I've learned a lot. I've done a couple other things in the past. We did a television documentary with the Brothers in Arms series on the History Channel, but this is a whole different level, and it's not.
Where is the movie going to be sort of just set in the world, and Pandora, is it going to be on sort of like around the first game, or how's it?
I'll talk about it a little bit. I mean, obviously nothing's been officially announced yet, but we've been developing scripts, and the strategy that we're on right now is that it's obviously all in the Borderlands universe, but rather than retell the stories that were in the game, we'll create new stories. So the films will have like their own almost. Film canon. We'll use all the characters and all the scenarios, of course. And it's kind of like a similar strategy to what Marvel's doing, where you can't read any particular film plot in a comic book, but there's a lot of the characters, themes, and in fact, some of the situations are represented. And it's very important to take that strategy because the 90 to 120 minute passive entertainment medium that's film is completely different than the way we consume story and characters in the video game. So it's really important to respect that and develop a story that's designed, designed for the film medium. But holy crap, it's been a blast, and I just can't believe how behind it Lionsgate is. Like these guys are pumped, and they're like the real deal. So we'll see, man. I mean, I'll be honest, there have not been a lot of great video game films. In fact, most of them kind of suck. Yeah. And that's kind of like the EV, but the expected value is we'll see. But I think there's a shot.
Oh, yeah, and you can give it time, see what happens, and you're still going to focus on, making
that's what's great about it is if there's a great film that happens, like it obviously helps and everybody will get to enjoy it, but it doesn't change anything that we're doing in the video game space. If anything, it just kind of adds this extra layer of excitement, which pumps us up a bit.
Now all we need is the Duke Nukem movie, right?
Yeah,
Make it happen.
We're working on that.
All right.
Yeah, and I can't announce it, but there's been a whole. You'd be surprised. It's blown my mind. There's been a lot of production companies that have come at us, and we are putting a deal right now together with a major motion picture studio and I'll tell you off the record if you want to know, but it's holy crap, it's exactly the right. It's the exact right people that should be doing a Duke Nukem film, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's unbelievable. I think that's very likely to be a thing.
Are you gonna make more Duke games? Do you think?
Yeah, there's a couple things going on. Well, one of the most the cool things is the games are great, but some people know this. Duke Nukem's actually going to be making a cameo in Steven Spielberg's upcoming Ready Player One film.
Oh, really?
That's coming later this summer. Yeah. Do you know about the film?
Of course, I know.
Have you read the book?
Yeah.
So Ernie Klein's book is amazing. If you haven't read Ready Player One.
I didn't know that Duke's going to be in.
Yeah, he's making a I may have just scooped that, but and it's pretty cool. Yeah, he's because the game, the story, a lot of the story takes place on the Oasis. Yeah, and people take on avatars of just who they wish they can be, and apparently there's a few cool video game cameos, but it's not a big role, but he's going to show up and. He's going to be Duke, man.
We missed the Duke.
Yeah.
What about Brothers in Arms? Do you guys ever go back to that? Do you think? For a while you were talking about maybe doing another one.
We do. In fact, we've had in development for some time. Again, it's not ready to make the big announcement, but we have had in development for some time a new Brothers in Arms game. It's authentic. It's got Sergeant Baker. It is the Brothers in Arms game that we want to make. And we're doing it under our publishing label. Okay. So what's great about
you
this?
You guys have now.
That's right.
Like we had you at the Game Awards.
I was really grateful when Ubisoft jumped in to help publish the original Brothers in Arms games. But as that relationship matured, I think for them they just thought the game looked pretty cool and it was sort of a side bet, and it turned out to be a big franchise, and it became important to their business. And as that was true, then they got more and more involved. And I think their interests with it were different from where what we think Brothers in Arms is. And so now
you have it. It's your.
We own the IP, but we worked that out so that it's all free and clear with Gearbox, and now we can do the authentic game that Brothers in Arms fans really want.
Okay.
And we haven't we haven't gotten to the point where we really are ready to announce it, but I think Brothers in Arms has always been strong because of its unique kind of tactical gameplay. It's not just a raw shooter. There's a lot more to it than just the skill test. But there's also a storytelling element, and we're really pushing that to new places. And our experience working with Telltale on the Tales series has taught us that you can actually make gameplay out of storytelling, and you can have that be really engaging. In fact, I think in the Telltale games, the best parts of those games are interacting with the storytelling and not anything that resembles a skill test.
Yep. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so that's actively in development.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Gearbox Publishing. That's exciting to see you guys. You've always been. I always admire how independent you've always been.
Yeah,
a lot of bigger developers that have a couple hits and then they sell to the publisher. And you're, I think, probably one of the largest sort of independent.
It's weird. We're feel like a last man standing in that regard. But
I think you've held out. I'm sure you had many offers over the years to go join companies.
Every partner we've ever worked with, that's usually the first and last conversation, and several conversations in between.
But I admire that you've sort of held out, be independent, just like I like to keep Game Awards independent. It's like you get to sort of do your thing, and now you get to because of digital distribution. You can put these games out yourself.
It's really opened up a lot of things, and not only for our own titles, but also helping other third parties. Like we helped people can flag it Bulletstorm out there. And it was just announced that Gearbox is the retail publisher for Epic's next game, Fortnite.
Exactly.
Like, holy crap, Gearbox is publishing, helping Epic. Like,
amazing.
Epic's, you know.
You license the engine now.
I know,
game.
right?
It's
It's
like,
it's
I'll
unbelievable
check it.
that's happening. But one of the reasons I think that's happening is because we are a developer.
Yeah.
So we kind of get what that's like to be a developer, and our business deals with developers are extraordinary. Like crazily developer friendly. Epic could not find another publisher that would do what we're willing to do for Epic.
Happy to do it.
And we know we want the same thing because we are fiercely independent and we just need what we need for our properties.
Well, it's very cool, and it's great to have you here at E3 just to hang out, talk about games.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure in future years we'll have much more to show gameplay-wise.
Oh yeah. There's, you know, if you want, there's some other things too with publishing because we are able to do our own titles and able to do some third-party titles. One of the fun new things that I've been working on is a VR project with Penn and Teller. Do you know those guys?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, I've seen you're good buddies with them.
Yeah. So I used to be a magician before I became a game developer, and I've always, like, in the back of my mind, like, how do we use magic for video games? And I've never really been able to do that directly. Like, a lot of the things I've learned and techniques I've been able to kind of draw upon for video games, but I've never directly done a magic trick in a video game before. And with this Penn and Teller project, we're doing it. And holy crap, with VR, it's absolutely perfect. Because you can really, you can
mess with people,
You can really mess with people.
Okay.
And because first of all, they can't see anything out in the world. And there's all these expectations that you draw. For example, when you have the controllers in your hand and you see the controllers in VR, you make this association between that object in the real world and the object you're seeing in VR. But we can disambiguate that. Like, imagine if the operator's holding a controller, you see the controller and you think that's where they're standing because you can see the controller and the body attachment. But they don't have to be standing there.
Yeah.
In fact, that controller doesn't actually have to be that controller. Even though you see it in VR, that controller could be anywhere. And there's all kinds of fun things we can do to just absolutely. And Penn and Teller are just absolute geniuses for taking what the expectations are and turning them upside down to just rip our brains apart. And the idea of just absolutely messing with people is a lot of fun too. So it's going to be called Penn and Teller's Cruel Virtual Tricks for Real Friends. And there's a whole set of bits. Some you can enjoy on your own, some where you can mess with other people. And if you've ever, like, I don't know if you've ever done a practical joke on someone or played a prank or...
Maybe back in the day.
So with these VR tricks, like, what happens is when we do the really bad ones, like the really horrible shit that you really shouldn't do, people come out of it, okay, that was immoral, that was unethical, you're an asshole, you should not have done it. Let's go do it to somebody else. And that's like
forward.
Yeah, it's really a lot of fun.
All right, well, we can't wait to see that. So much going on at Gearbox, Randy. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Awesome hanging out. Have a good show, man. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow for the big panel, but right now we are going to head over to Melanie Mack to give an update on what you guys are talking about online about E3. Mel?
Thanks so much, Jeff. I'm super excited right now because I get to do my favorite thing ever, and that's read all of your tweets here. So right now, one of my other favorite things is food. So apparently, Ubisoft has cupcakes. Nobody told me this. So I'm gonna need someone to bring me back 1 or 5. And right here, Vac Saint says, YouTube live at E3 Lounge, free food, free drinks, enjoy the games. And nobody told me they had free food here. So yeah, you're gonna need to save me a plate there. So of course everybody's excited about the Ubisoft conference coming up. Right here, Dakota says, I believe Ubisoft is going to smash the scales this year. So excited, can't wait. I agree. They always do such an amazing job and they make some of my favorite games. So right here, Gamer Insanity says, Melanie Mack, YouTube E3. I want to see a new Splinter Cell reboot with a new female protagonist if we can't continue with Michael Ironside. Now this is honestly one of the most interesting tweets I've seen all day today because I never even thought about that, but I think it's pretty brilliant. Obviously, Michael Ironside, Sam Fisher is legendary, but it would be pretty awesome to see a female protagonist, a new Splinter Cell, but I wouldn't want to totally eliminate Sam Fisher, so maybe he could take like a Lambert role or something like that and kind of like direct and guide the new protagonist. I feel it. That could be really awesome. And so then we've got right here, Timmy says, I want a new Rayman game. All right, I feel you, Timmy. That sounds great. Everybody, make sure you send me your tweets. Use hashtag YouTubeE3 because I want to read them and see them all. But right now, I'm going to toss it back to Jeff.
All right, thanks very much, Mal. We are getting ready for the Ubisoft press conference that we'll be presenting in its entirety to you guys here live on YouTube, youtube.com/E3. It's expected to run about an hour in length, a little bit shorter than previous Ubisoft press conferences, but there's going to be lots of great news there on Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and some other announcements. And now joining me to talk about what we expect from Ubisoft, got Danny O'Dwyer, Rocco from Mega 64, Tina from Mashable, and Nick from Polygon. What's going on, guys?
How you doing?
All right, well, we are here to talk Ubisoft. Yeah. We already have seen some of their games because we saw Assassin's Creed yesterday. They just announced Far Cry 5, which has been getting a lot of attention online. You know, they're always known for showing some big games and usually making like one or two big announcements of games that are coming in the future. Danny, how excited are you for Ubisoft?
I'm like, that's what I'm sort of worried about and interested in is whether or not we're going to get that, right? Because there's so many nobles. Like, they're going to trot out Assassin's Creed and have probably a big gameplay demo of that.
Yep.
Far Cry 5, we'll hopefully see that, like, you know, Nintendo mashup Rabbids thing. Yep. What I want to see, though, is if they do pull something out of the woodwork, like a Splinter Cell or some, like, old franchise that we've not seen.
Beyond Good and Evil finally returned.
Right. Can you even do that now? They just need to say, oh, it's out now.
Yeah.
Like, here's the trailer, go buy it.
I feel like they always, like, every year, even last year, like, they announced that Steep game. Like, they always have something they announce. The challenge sometimes is there are lots of leaks. People, you know, always are guessing what they're going to talk about. Rocco, you know, I remember back in the day, Mega 64 did quite the Assassin's Creed
yeah, we did.
Parody video. If you haven't seen it on YouTube, check it out.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from the French boys at Ubisoft?
I'm honestly going into this just a little bit concerned, more than anything. I think the past 2 days, I've seen a lot of disparaging comments about, you know, the state of digital influencers and, you know, just this whole negative image. And, you know, I myself am a digital influencer, and so I'm just trying to look out for us, because when we talk about things, you know, people have to listen.
Yeah.
Like literally. And I'm trying to just make sure that image is preserved. So what I'm kind of hoping going into the conference today is they're going to have the digital influencers. They're going to get, iJustine is going to be back. You know, they're going to get, you know, Epic Meal Man and all those guys and just try to, you know, infuse some positivity. So there's so much salt.
Yeah.
As the original influencer, how do you feel about all these new influencers?
Yeah. I pretty much think they're something else. You know, they're just, you know, just taking it to a whole nother level. You know, you got, I don't know if Tobuscus is coming back, but he's doing his thing. Hopefully.
Remember back in the day when he hosted the Ubisoft?
Yeah. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for. You know, we're going to roll the dice today, and hopefully, you know, he'll do some kind of crazy opening. It's a little
musical number or something.
Yeah, something like that. Because you know we got to fill the void. Because
I don't think Tina's believing you on any of this. What are you expecting, Tina?
Well, if the previous conferences that we've seen so far are any indication, they have been going that route, and we know that Aisha Tyler's not going to be there.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, sadly.
Hey, Rocco, you better get over there. You only got like 90 seconds.
You know, I offered, and
maybe you guys did a tape like you do for the GDC Awards. Maybe there's some Mega 64 bits.
You know, we could have made a video, but I'm just you know, get Epic Meal Man to do his thing and eat that big meal.
Slow-mo guys will do something. You never know.
Slow-mo guys. I did a skit once. The fast-mo guys.
Nick, what are you thinking from Ubisoft?
I'm hoping, like, I'm really hoping that they weren't discouraged by kind of the reception to the, like, let's make a meme thing in the past, because that was literally my favorite moment of E3 last year. Other than that, like, apparently on Walmart.com, a listing for the Kingdom Rabbids thing just went up like 6 minutes ago.
Okay.
So
that's got to be real, right?
Yeah, as if that wasn't confirmed 1,000 times already.
Yeah.
So maybe there's like an amiibo thing for that, but I feel like they're saving that for Nintendo. I'm basically here to see the weird, gnarly pseudo Minions Mario crossover thing that is happening.
And like how weird it gets, because like that original shot looked like something like a sales pitch.
There was a cuss word in it.
Yeah.
It was very
and Mario with his gun. I mean,
right? Yeah, with a gun.
Yeah.
They've spent like decades making sure that those characters never had guns unless they shot like water.
It's a new Nintendo. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to head over to the Ubisoft press conference. We'll be back in a little bit with you guys reacting to it. The press conference is going to run, you know, probably around what I've heard, like about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes. So significantly shorter. Last year, Ubisoft ran almost 2 hours. So get ready. Check out Ubisoft live right here on YouTube.
Hello, everyone, and thank you. We've always wondered what could happen if our crazy rabbits were unleashed upon the world of Mario. Today, the dream is reality. And to talk about this unexpected encounter, it is my great honor to welcome a very special guest, someone I truly admire. Please. Ladies and gentlemen, Miyamoto-san. Thank you for coming. We are so happy to have you today. So what have you brought with you?
Well,
what did you bring?
This is a life-size replica of one of the weapons from this game.
Wow. Cool, I'm sure you love it.
I brought one for you.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Wow. Woo. So let's take a picture.
Bill-san, he can help our conversation. これほら、ね、ゴーストリーコンのとちょっと違うでしょ?
These are a little bit different from the weapons you see in Ghost Recon.
Yeah, very different weapons for
cute.
very different worlds. This one is, I think, very effective in the world of Mario and Rabbit. So, should do well. I'm so proud of Ubisoft's long-standing collaboration with Nintendo. You know, from the DS to the Wii, and more recently for the impressive launch of the Switch. You know, it has always been, we have always been inspired by Nintendo and by all the great work you have been able to do.
そうですね、本当にいつも UBI さんにはね、協力いただいてありがとうございます。
Yes, thank you very much for all the work that we've been able to do together over the years with Ubisoft.
もうほら、出会ってから25年ぐらい経つんですよね。
I mean, Eves, it's already been about 25 years since you and I first met.
で、E3 とかに来るたんびに UBI さんのブースを僕は訪問して、でビデオで撮ってもらって、社内のビデオに登場したりしてましたね。
And every year at E3, you're kind enough to invite me to your booth, and we get to take lots of pictures and videos, and I've even recorded messages for Ubisoft employees in the past.
でそのたんびにね、なんか UBI の開発の皆さんのすごい任天堂ゲーム愛みたいなものを感じてきました。
So over the years, I've always felt the deep, heartfelt passion that Ubisoft developers have for Nintendo and its characters.
それは一方でね、僕は同じ開発者としてライバルですから、こう戦う姿勢で頑張ってきたんですけど。
But on the other hand, because we're both software developers, we've also looked at each other as kind of rivals and tried to see who could make the best software.
けどイブさんからラビッツの人形をもらったりいろいろして、僕の席の前にもラビッツがいっぱいあるんですけども、そういうラビッツのヒューモアはすごく理解してました。
But of course, I've known the Rabbids characters for many years, and I have many Rabbids figures decorating my desk.
Wow.
And so I've always been a fan of the characters and their humor.
だから今回の話があった時にラビッツがどんなユーモアをこうゲームの中で見せてくれるかすごい楽しみにしてたんですね。
So since this project first started, I've been very excited to see what kind of humor the rabbits could bring to the Mario world.
でただダビデさんに会った時にね、ダビデさんに一つだけお願いしたんです。
And so when I met Davide-san, who is the creative director of this game, yes. When I met Davide-san, I had just one condition for this project.
絶対こうジャンプするゲームとかそういうプラットフォームゲームじゃなくて、マリオで今まで作ったことのないジャンルのゲームを作ってほしいとお願いしました。
I said, whatever you do, don't try to make a jump game or a Mario platformer. Try to make a Mario game that has never been made before.
よかったですね。
And it's great.
And I can tell you, it was an exciting, very exciting challenge for all our teams. And I think we've done something you will love. So, thank you very much for giving us the chance to perform on this game.
はい、本当にこうヨーロッパで作るとこんなものができるのかとかね。それからUBI さんやっぱりアクションゲームをちゃんと作ってる会社なんで、こう単性のストラテジーゲームというもののちゃんとこうテンポのいいゲームが出来上がりました。
And so, of course, because the game is being made in Europe, it has a very unique flavor to it. And of course, Ubisoft is very good at making action games, but this game in particular has a great layer of strategy and tactics to it, but with a very good pace.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fresh, actually. So now let's welcome Xavier, the producer of the game, and he will show us the game. So thanks again. Thanks again, Miyamoto. Thank you. You're welcome.
Finally, we can talk about this project. So we've been working on this game for more than 3 years now, and to be at E3 today on this stage is just super exciting. So, what is this game exactly? So Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a tactical adventure exclusive for the Nintendo Switch, and let's check right away some gameplay. So the rabbits have been teleported into the Mushroom Kingdom, and it made the world completely unstable and chaotic. So Mario, as a true hero, wants to save the day. But this time, with some new friends. And at first, they don't really know each other, but in the end, they will form this dream team that will potentially save the Mushroom Kingdom. And as the game is a turn-based tactical adventure game, combat is a really big part of the concept. So you'll fight wave after wave of rabbit that somehow turn bad. And what we see here is just the very beginning of the game, so it will be perfect to talk about the combat basics. So the two flags you see on the screen here is to tell you that this is a battlefield zone. So you'll switch from exploration mode to battle mode. The blue zone is your zone of movement, so you move anywhere you want in that zone. But you can also use battlefield ingredients, such as covers for protection. So Rabbit Luigi here using half cover or full cover. And we also have what we call team jump. So by jumping on your teammates, you can expand your zone of movement. So here, Rabbit Peach, using Mario, she's able to flank the enemy. So you can also attack the enemy behind that cover and expose them by destroying that cover, which is really interesting in terms of strategy because for the next turns, you'll be open for attacks. And last but not least, techniques. So from defensive ones like Rabbit Peach Shield Boost, or offensive ones like Mario's Hero Sight, he's able to attack the enemy even if it's not his turn as soon as the enemy moves. So this is a very core aspect of the game itself. So you mix and match attack options, movement abilities, techniques, but we also have other ingredients such as pipes, rabbit pipes. So those give you a good move to flank the enemy. So here, for example, Rabbit Luigi goes into the pipe, out of the pipe, dash the enemy, goes for Mario, team jump, land behind the enemy in one single movement sequence, and then finish off the enemy. And what we see here is actually explosive cover. So those have many type of super effects, and this one was a push effect. So you can push heroes or enemies out of the boundaries. So again, this is just a glimpse into the basics of the game. And as you progress into the game, you have more tactic tools. You'll be able to do more combo setups. You'll be able to use different type of heroes, different type of weapons in order to battle your way through the kingdom. Thank you. Thank you. And that's just a glimpse into the game itself. But first and foremost, this is a project done with passion, with our hearts. So it would not exist otherwise. So we just can't wait for you guys to try the game at E3 this week. For those who are not at E3, you'll see online coverage, videos, and surprises. So have a great conference. Have a great E3. Thank you.
Huh?
Hi, I'm Ashraf Ismail, game director for Assassin's Creed Origins. I've waited a long time to say that. Almost 10 years ago, I, as many of you, fell in love with a game. That game took us to the Third Crusade. And we fell in love again when it took us to the Italian Renaissance. Over the years, this amazing series has taken us to the American Revolution, the French Revolution, Victorian London, and of course, to the Republic of Pirates. For the 10-year anniversary of Assassin's Creed, for our fans, for ourselves, and for all newcomers, we wanted to go back, very far back, to show how it all began. Since Black Flag, over the last 3.5 years, we have poured our energy, our talent, our passion into bringing the land of pyramids, pharaohs, and mummies to life, to bring ancient Egypt to life. Now, Egypt challenged us. It fundamentally challenged us to reinvent what it means to be Assassin's Creed. And over the next few days, you will see, play, and feel this reinvented experience. I am deeply honored and proud to be here representing the amazing work of a phenomenal team, and thrilled to finally be able to show you this beast we have been building. Without further ado, here is a taste of Egypt.
Across your screen, got you in the air. 15 minutes of freedom, still 3/5 of man. Still realize your chain, yeah. All my blood is in that.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As an extra treat, let's check in with home base, where we're going to get a glimpse of what you'll see right after the UB conference.
Hey there, folks. Chris Waters here at the home base with Hanny Duong and Carl Lua, producer on Assassin's Creed Origins at Ubisoft Singapore. Carl's here to give us a look at the gameplay of the game. We're going to be entering the open world. We've got a ton more to show you, but Carl, kick it off. Give us a little taste here.
Yes, so here we are in the open world of Egypt. This is the demo that we will be showing on the show floor here at E3. Bayek is riding into the Fayum, one of the regions in Egypt, the most southernmost region. It's a beautiful area. We see we've come in from the desert, moving towards this Lake Moris. And let's have a little exploration around here using our Eagle scenery.
It's sunny on the lake and it's sunny on the monitor here, but folks, this looks really good. It's running on an Xbox One X, and we'll be giving you the gameplay feed after the show. We've got 30 minutes of that coming up, but let's see if we can see from a bird's eye view what Seinu is up to.
Yeah, so Seinu is looking into this military camp and tagging a few enemies here. After the show, we will infiltrate this camp and take it out either through stealth or combat or perhaps ranged weaponry.
All right, if you guys want to see more of this, be sure to tune in right after the conference. Chris and I and Carl here will be right here. Ash will be joining us as well. You won't want to miss it.
That 30 minutes live gameplay feed is coming up after the show, but for now, it's back to the stage and on with the excitement.
That's it for now. Thank you. Thank you. So don't forget that you can watch this demo in its entirety after the conference, live stream from our home base. And for those of you here at E3, please come to the Ubisoft booth where you can live this new experience of Assassin's Creed. Thank you very much.
Hey, here's your chance.
hotshot driver with a promising career dominate off-road racing on his way to the top.
Our champion swerves around it brilliantly. Now that's the skill that wins no matter what the engine, no matter what the track. He's this season's undisputed motorsports champion, coming out of nowhere to rise to the top.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 2 years back, the crew took the driving genre out there to the big, wide, open world of the USA. Thanks to our players, we have taken this iconic vision to the next level. They showed us what they liked and what they wanted to see in the futures. Now, it's time to take it way beyond driving. I am Stéphane Bellet, Creative Director. This is The Crew 2. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Here in the US, motorsports are louder, bigger, edgier than anywhere else in the world. Drivers and fans meet across the country and celebrate a common passion for all things motorized. Now's your chance to join in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Crew 2, home of Motor Nation.
People talk to me.
In the heart of the city, street racers prove their skills, skidding on rooftops, burning asphalt, and tuning their ride. Forge your own path off-road through the striking beauty of nature. Tame, unpredictable waves on the open ocean, rapid waters, or narrow rivers. Fearless pilots rule the skies, spin between buildings, through the clouds, among stunning perspectives. Thank you. All across the country, high-octane contests await you. Take the lead on modernation. You've had a glimpse of the Crew 2. Register now for beta access or play the demo at the booth. Experience TC2 for yourself. Enjoy the ride. Thank you.
We all started as one team. We all wanted to be superheroes for the same reason. You're a traitor, Tweak, and now you're with a group of super traitors. This was started by you. We aren't the ones who walked out of the fucking franchise, Mysterion. Why would the Freedom Pals help us? We send a spy, someone in our group who pretends to want to switch sides and join Freedom Pals. Somebody who they don't know very well. All is fair in love and war, Freedom Pussies. You fucking animal.
You've got problems, new kid. Whatever you did last night got a lot of people's attention. Bad people. If you need information, just know you can rely on Call Girl.
Who the fuck is that? So I guess now any fucking asshole thinks they can be a superhero. We're gonna rip you apart. Dude, Mysterion is pissed at you, new kid. Toolshed.
Toolshed is a gadgeteer class visionary archetype.
And a butt-fucking traitor. You must listen to me. Get out of my head, Timmy. Your franchise is going nowhere. Face the truth, Eric. You guys are kind of douchebags. He just called us douchebags in my mind. He did? Southpaw, the fractured but home.
Available October 17th.
There was this sort of synergy of, well, we're looking to do something interesting in VR, and we've got this division, and you're looking to sort of bring, you know, what sense you have of storytelling within, and put that into the context of VR.
You can, for the first time as a player, feel like you are in a movie.
That's a really good word for it. We want you to take off the gear and still feel unsettled.
Whilst working with Ubisoft, we stumbled across some fascinating research that had begun in the late 90s. Essentially, neuroscientists had figured out a way to upload brain data, trauma, emotions, memories, to the digital space. Now, we've gone and taken the next logical step, and with Ubisoft, we've recreated in virtual reality one such test subject. So we'd like you to come and join us and experience the Walter test case for yourself. Again.
What you're experiencing is a recorded consciousness. It's not unlike watching a movie, so no matter how real it may seem, it can't hurt you. You are completely safe. You are completely safe.
And now, I'm happy to share a new surprise with you. Building on the legacy of one of our most popular worlds, the super talented teams of Ubisoft Singapore came up with something really, really unique. So I want you to see that and enjoy. Thank you.
Men from all over the world sail the treacherous trade routes of the Indian Ocean. The riches in their holds fuel their dreams of power and fortune, while whetting the appetites of those they fear most. Pirates.
After 70 years, that what he goes there for is to unlock the door. But we're never gonna
120 days. That's how long the average pirate survived a lawless life on the seas during the golden age of piracy. I'm Justin Farron, the creative director for Skull and Bones, and this is your chance to not just survive, but to climb the food chain and surpass the legend of every pirate who ever sailed the high seas. Since bringing innovative naval combat to Assassin's Creed, we at Ubisoft Singapore have set out to bring you the ultimate pirate experience. A tactical action game where we take that naval combat to the next level, mastering the ocean and its winds at the helm of ships armed to the teeth. Skull and Bones takes place in a shared systemic world where you can sail solo or form a gang of pirates with your friends, and together terrorize the trade routes of the Indian Ocean. Season after season, you'll collaborate and compete with other bloodthirsty players, even execute ruthless betrayals in order to become the ultimate pirate kingpin. Now I'm proud to share with you the Loot Hunt, one of Skull and Bones' 5 versus 5 team-based PvP modes. Right on, right? We've just received intel that merchant convoys rich with treasure are sailing just off the coast of Madagascar. But beware, there are other pirates also looking to plunder the PvP-disputed waters of the Indian Ocean.
The Priscilla Shallows of Madagascar. Located on the cusp of a bustling trade route, it is the perfect place for an ambush. Here is our gang of pirates, the Raiders, going head-to-head with a gang of rival players, the Cutthroats. Victory goes to the team with the most loot at the end of the hunt.
Are we ready for a hunt?
Knowing how to sail with the wind is a pirate's most precious skill. Use the winds to increase your speed or to position yourself for tactical advantage in battle. To reap the most rewards, it is best to split up, some going inland, others keeping to the open sea. Each warship has unique strengths. The frigate's hull is reinforced, its arsenal equipped with numerous culverin cannons. The brigantine is devastating up close, with a battering ram designed to break any resistance. The sloop of war kills from afar, with its crippling long-ranged mortars and precise long 9 cannons.
Sail! Flying hostile colors! All sail! Ride the wind! All hands on deck! Position fixed!
Open fire!
Nothing will save you now! Brace for impact! Woo! Drown, you soggy nutmegs!
Don't let bloodlust cloud your purpose. You're here for the loot, and so are your rivals.
Store the goods, then back to your station.
The team that escapes with the most loot claims victory. Searching for more targets on the horizon, our sloop of war spots a rival pirate ship further inland. With its heavily reinforced hull, our frigate swoops in to save the day, bearing the brunt of the damage.
Another day, another victim!
Speed, Mr. Mercy! Vamos con todo!
Our gang of pirates is now taking aim at the frigate, and it will take team coordination to take her down.
Fuego! Hold tight, lads! That ship's badly damaged!
They're killing! We can take their ship!
With the enemy ship's broadside now vulnerable, our frigate rushes in to board her.
No water! Taste of blackened silver.
Fancy snorting some fish piss? We've got pirate hunters!
It's the Rat Fleet! Man over! Rockets away!
Pirate hunters have been sent in, signaling the end of the hunt. They target the pirates with the most stolen loot.
Time to make our escape, Captain, or we are good for the news.
They're firing mortars! Full tilt, Silbo, full tilt!
The pirate hunter defenses are so strong that the only option is escape. The brigantine is sacrificing herself to buy time for the frigate, who carries the most loot. The frigate now needs to make its escape through the reefs.
Captain, let's make for the reefs!
Successful pirates know when to run, with their hulls full and the wind at their backs.
Thank you all very much. I'd like to invite you to play the loot hunt at the Ubisoft booth at E3. And please register for our live phases online. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention. The world of Skull and Bones is one that evolves. When you act, it reacts.
That if I did not kiss the girls, my lips would grow a moldy. Way, ho, away, we'll haul away.
너에게 날 맞추지 마. 나에게 더 바라지 마. 거품처럼 커진 맘을 버블 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 팝 버블 버블 팝 있는 그대로 생각해봐. 보이는 대로 날 바라봐줘. 거품처럼 커진 맘을 버블 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 팝 버블 버블 팝 pretty, I'll live forever, sing like Whitney. But I still wanna dance with somebody. somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. It could be anybody. Tell me, are you that somebody? Don't matter who you are, just love me the way I just wanna dance with somebody. I just wanna dance with somebody. Ooh, wanna dance with somebody. Hey!
Hey everyone, I'm BB Rexa, and Just Dance 2018 is out this October on all consoles. Bye!
You use it as a telephone. You use it as a camera. It's your music player, your flashlight, calculator, and GPS navigation device. But now, finally, the most high-tech company in the world has unlocked the mobile phone's true potential so that it can do what it was truly meant to do.
We are playing Cowboys and Indians. Hey, new kid, we need you to come play with us. Put on some cowboy shit and meet us outside. And bring your phone. Whoa, whoa, we're playing Cowboys and Indians, dickhole. Inuits are technically Native Americans. This new kid puts me to shame. Rip these guys a new asshole, new kid.
Phone destroyer!
Atlas, jewel of the Pleiades. Nova took us to the stars. Each new world more incredible than the last. We had no idea what was waiting for us. The Legion. It consumes everything in its path. They've never used Starlink before. Go show them what it can do.
Okay, let's do this. Come on, come on. I got it.
Chase, how's it going?
Breaking atmosphere. Let's even the odds.
Judd, we need to buy time for me to jumpstart the engine.
They are resisting ice barrage. Linking fire loadout.
We're up against impossible odds, but together we will adapt and overcome.
Hi, I'm Matt Rose, producer at Ubisoft Toronto. Like many of you, I grew up in the 80s, obsessed with sci-fi, animation, comics, and of course, all the really cool toys. At Ubisoft Toronto, we built a team with a dream of bringing those amazing childhood memories back to life for a new generation. Starlink Battle for Atlas allows you to take control of a team of star pilots in a massive, open, living star system, fighting to save Atlas from the Forgotten Legion. Build your custom starship, and then adapt to new challenges on the fly. Link extra armor and heavy weapons to take on a huge Legion Prime. Search for ancient secrets lost on the worlds of Atlas, or outrun outlaws through an asteroid field. Freedom is at the core of Starlink Battle for Atlas. Collect your way with both physical Starship collectibles and digital versions available, and even take your game on the go using the power of Nintendo Switch. Visit starlinkgame.com for more information, and stay tuned for many more surprises over the coming months. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Coutaz. I'm the studio director at Ubisoft Annecy. It's a pleasure for me to be back on stage after our announcement at E3 last year. And we have had since then a full year of support and continuous development of Steep. Since the very beginning of this project, we have been working with athletes, and we have always been impressed by their passion and dedication. We learned how one champion spent 300 days a year on a trampoline to practice for that perfect landing. We learned how others make more than 6 million turns to practice for the 15 they have to race in competition. These athletes, they travel to the world to train with the best, to compete with the strongest, and to challenge themselves with the most experienced and skilled coaches. It's truly a level of passion and dedication that goes well beyond our everyday lives. And when you talk to the very best of these men and women, you realize that there is something they always have in back of their minds at all times. It's a dream that takes years of preparation for just one go at that unforgettable moment. This December, with our first Steep expansion, this is a journey you will take. Enjoy.
Child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one to work while they all play. And you'd lay awake at night, scheme of all the things that you would change, but it was just a dream.
but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Hi, my name is Dan Hay, and I'm the executive producer of Far Cry the brand, as well as the creative director of Far Cry 5. I'd like to introduce you to Hope County, Montana. Vast, beautiful, rugged. A place where people don't even lock their front door anymore. But that's how it used to be. Today, Hope County's been overrun by a fanatical cult. You find yourself trapped deep in cult territory, cut off from the rest of the world. They've closed the roads. There's no cell phone signal, no 911. People are fucking scared. I had to say it. And just up ahead, the small town of Falls End has been completely overrun. If you're gonna survive, you and your guns for hire are gonna need to save it. But to do that, well, you're gonna need to raise some hell.
We got piggies.
Town looks like a war zone. Where do you want me? Water tower, got it. I'm in position.
You will be cleansed. You will confess your sins. You will atone. For only then will you walk in the light of our Father and be delivered.
Boom, boom, motherfuckers.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom.
Behind you.
Bang, 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 bang.
Gonna need more help.
I love the way you walk, and I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk, and you talk that talk, you knocks me out off my feet.
Looks like you could use some help.
Boom, 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 boom.
Target
bang,
a
bang,
fucking
bang,
quad.
bang. Boom, 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 boom.
Where's your master? I don't deal with domesticated.
Hey, the fuck? I ain't got no master, but I do have your little toy.
Show me the idol. Show me the Redeemer.
Here you go, mate.
Hey, G.
Yo, hand it over. I got a hot date who don't do late.
Monkey's got a date.
Mwah.
What? What?
What? That's Swiss fucking chocolate, pig. Bon appetito.
I want every fucking cop in this fucking city after that fucking bastard!
Grab my chassis, Noxie!
Easy peasy, bro.
Shit! Hang on!
Bang, bang, motherfuckers! Fuck me.
Damn! Do it!
It's about bloody time. Let's see what we've got. Moksha. Just as Yama described it. True freedom lies beyond.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to all the teams who worked very, very, very hard on creating all this world. Again, thank you to all these teams behind us. I want also to say thank you to Yves, with all my heart. Thanks, Yves, for making this happen. This is just amazing. And also, a special thanks to the fans of Beyond Good and Evil for sticking with us for so long.
It's about bloody time.
15 years. Almost.
So welcome to System 3. Our story takes place before the birth of Jade, in a multi-ethnic, multicultural human society in a distant solar system. It is a time when corporations create hybrids in their labs and enslave them to colonize the stars in order to compete for power and cosmic resources. With our crew of crazy and unforgettable characters, we fight in the name of freedom and the right to determine our own fate among the stars. And we will helm massive star-faring vessels through territories as spectacular as they are dangerous.
We've been working very hard just on the technology during 3 years. And today, we have a seamless online playground where we can travel across space at the speed of light. We can explore mysterious cities and discover unknown lands by ourselves or with friends. And we want you to participate in the making of this great adventure. Join our Space Monkey program. Today, and help us make Beyond Good and Evil a world that will challenge us and bring us together for thousand adventure, thrills, and fun. And please, Eve, just join us. This is. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, you guys. You know, Gabrielle and Michelle, you've done a fantastic job. It's amazing what you have been able to achieve. And you and I and all the teams have the power of creating games that will amaze all the gamers. And I think video games can help us to grow and to get better. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now, I would like to thank everyone here in the room and those who are watching us from home. Thank you for listening today, and thank you for playing our games. So to all the teams at Ubisoft, thank you for your incredible imagination and enthusiasm. All of us here, we wish you all a lot of fun playing games this year. So thank you very much, and have a great E3.
Okay, wait, look, most importantly, it's not over.
Wow, what an amazing press conference from Ubisoft there. A big reveal, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Jeff Keighley back here with YouTube live at E3. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot is actually driving over here right now to our set. His first interview will be with us live in just a few minutes, and a lot of those teams will be coming by. So we got lots of questions for him. I'm back with Danny, Rocco, Tina, and Jessica Chobot is also joining us now. Let's start with you, Chobot.
Yeah.
What do you think? There was some pretty cool news there.
Yeah, that definitely exceeded my expectations so far. I think this has been my favorite conference of the show.
I would agree.
I love the fact that they had the developers front and center and really celebrated them, and then showing them off as how like kind of a family they've become in our team. I love that, love that, love that. I also really, obviously, you know, the out there, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Oh my God. I was pretty stoked for Far Cry 5, and then I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, like I'm on board 110% for that game. That might be the game I'm actually most excited coming out at E3 so far.
Yeah.
I'm not really expecting anything to push that, but we'll see.
No, and it was a cool, they did that trailer for that game, I don't know, it was probably like 8 years ago, and that was sort of felt like it was a CG thing, so I'm curious when he was here, like, how early is that in development? I'm sure it's far off, but the fact that they teased it again, and it was also like, it was a really tight press conference, like just over an hour. Last year, Ubisoft was pretty bloated. It was like 2 hours long. I mean, Miyamoto opening the show, Beyond Good and Evil 2, and that new Ubisoft Toronto
I mean, I'm
star.
jumping on the hype train. I'm so
Yeah.
for it. And I love the fact that Nintendo is finally unlocking their IPs for other people to play with, because I think that's just gonna like open the door for so many cool games in the future with the characters that, you know, I grew up with. And now I can, like, have my son come play with me now, too. So I'm just really happy overall with that performance, yeah.
What'd you think, Tina?
Yeah, I mean, Beyond Good and Evil, too, is just the mic drop of the show for them.
Yeah.
But even outside of that, like, I don't think anyone was expecting anything of The Crew 2, but that looked pretty good.
Yep.
The Skull and Bones game also is basically like Assassin's Creed minus the, well, it's Black Flag minus the Assassin's Creed, which I think is what everyone wanted that game to be. So they had a couple stunners there for sure, and they did a good job this year.
Rocco, you got sort of a digital influencer in there.
Yves Guillemot, he's the new
letdown.
Letdown?
I thought it was a letdown.
Yeah.
I couldn't count one JRPG at all, and no Tobuscus. I mean, completely MIA. I feel like they haven't really lived up to what they did years ago, you know. And so I don't know.
You're kind of down on it.
Sad.
That's all right.
I mean, Beyond Good and Evil could be fun, but I just feel like without an influencer to tell me that it's fun, I don't really.
You don't know.
What to do with yourself.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, what do I do with this?
You're lost. You're like,
yeah.
Someone to guide you through it all.
Yeah, I just could have used like, you know, the epic meal.
Meal man. Exactly. Danny?
I can't tell you how many times I've come to E3 and asked when are they going to make a Mario XCOM game.
Yeah.
But finally, they've come good on that. I don't think, like, I was expecting it to be some sort of like party game mishmash thing, or like some, you know, throwaway fun little thing you'll pay for like a week. But they're making like a bona fide, like turn-based strategy game with Mario.
Crazy,
like,
right?
who came up with this?
Yeah.
It's
No,
like,
and it seems like they're in depth. Miyamoto involved. Like, that's pretty cool to have him out there. And it sounds like he's been collaborating with the team a lot on it. So yeah, front to back, a ton of news. There was also that new Ubisoft Toronto IP Star.
Yeah.
Oh, Starflight? Was that what it was?
Starflight, I think.
Starlink?
Star Ocean.
Starflight,
which No Man's Skylander.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
was- oh, nice.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
looked a little bit like that. So that's another new announcement. So Ubisoft pushing in a bunch of directions with two big games this year. Assassins, Far Cry, and then you add in all these other titles. That was a lot of stuff, and I got to say, by far, I think my favorite press conference so far in terms of, you know, they dropped some big bombs in terms of big news. So how would you get? What grade would you give it, Danny?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was probably the best. Although this year does feel like this strange like interim year where there's a lot of like nothing going on and a lot of sequels and stuff. I think what I like about Ubisoft is they have this like incredible breadth for a developer of their size. Like they even have sports games like Steep.
Yep.
And you know the fan
South
favorites.
Park
Right. Two South Park games. A mobile game coming out as well. So yeah, I thought I enjoyed it a lot. It was pretty much like all the staple of stuff that you'd expect from Ubisoft with a couple of nice little.
So what grade would you
things? Like are we talking one upgrades like A's, B's, C's?
Yep,
Can I get out of 10?
ABCs.
Yeah, give it a B plus.
B plus. Rocco, what kind of grade would you give it?
I'm gonna go D. Just Dance was cool, so I give him a couple points, and then it's coming to the Wii, which is that was unexpected. That was the biggest surprise for me. But still no Cold Fear 2. We keep coming back every year, and they're not really, you know. So D for me.
D for Rocco. Tina?
Well, with the combination of the big surprises and some of those random other surprises too, like Elijah Wood's VR game.
Oh, Tina's gonna go higher, it sounds like.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a Black Mirror episode, a very specific one, if you've seen it. But with those things considered and docking it a little for Just Dance, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go against your opinion there. But I'll give it like an A minus. That was really great.
A minus, yeah. All right. Showbot?
Yeah, I'm fully jumping onto the hype train for this one, especially compared to everything else up to this point at E3. So I'm gonna give it, and with how like you had said, how the breadth that they hit everything and like made sure that all the consoles have something good coming towards them, I'm gonna give it an A.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Full on A.
Because
No, I gotta
don't
say.
give a fuck. That's why.
No, it
An
was
A.
like you think of how many games they announced there, especially compared to EA. I mean, EA had Anthem, but they didn't have so many other games.
Right.
Xbox, didn't really have any new first-party stuff to talk about. There were some big new announcements. Gets me excited for what Sony might have tonight.
Oh
They're gonna
yeah,
show.
I am dying out of curiosity
They always
right now.
have incredible games and hopefully a couple cool surprises. All right, well, thank you so much, guys. We are going to find out what you guys thought online. Melanie Mack, what are people saying using the hashtag YouTubeE3?
Thank you, Jeff. I am so excited, and I have to apologize to you guys in advance if I'm a little shaky because I'm still hyperventilating a little bit from Beyond Good and Evil 2. It has been so long, and we've wanted this so bad, so thank you so much, Yubi. I remember playing back on the GameCube, so it's like, it's here. It's finally happening. So with it being a prequel, too, it's like, whoa. I saw everybody in chat, and I was right along with them thinking, wait, what's going on? I don't see Jade. This is Beyond Good and Evil, right? I mean, they wouldn't have another pig character, right? And it's like, yes, they delivered. But of course, there were a lot of other games and a lot of other things to talk about, so I've got to compose myself and start talking about these things. So right here, Dragon Sparto. Super excited. Says, what a time to be alive. Miyamoto right there. Rabbids and Mario. How epic is that? And then the Just Dance. Ubisoft E3 right now. That was great. That was great seeing that.